All right, y'all. Chastity T here, back at it with another counter reaction. All right, so we're going to be talking about Erickson Lubin today. And I call this moment in Erickson Lubin's life the test before the storm. And I hope that he's victorious. I mean, I don't have any dogs in this fight with him and Virgil Ortiz, but I'm always going to root for, my people. And at the end of the day, I've just really started to hone in on this guy. Like, I always knew about him, heard about him. I saw the Fundora fight, but now he's on my radar. Now I'm intrigued. You know what I'm saying? And he's got a good record, a good resume. He only has 2 losses, and it's to Fundora and Charlo. Like, those are some good names. If you're going to lose to a good name like Fundora, Charlo, or Terrence Crawford. You know what I'm saying? Like, when you lose to a good fighter, there should be no shame in that. It should only be get back. So, what stands out to me about Lubin is that, after those losses with Charlo and Fundora, Lubin still wants to keep going. He still wants to prove himself. And I am learning that mindset is really important for a boxer. Like, boxers cannot be complacent. This isn't the field. This isn't the career for you to be complacent. You can't be bored. You can't be unmotivated. And you can't lose passion. And it actually reminds me of an interview that I saw with Dr. Dre. And someone asked him, like, how do you keep making hits? Like, where does this creativity come from? Like, how are you doing it? And he said, I approach every single project like it's my first project. Every single project I do it with the same tenacity, the same passion, and the same determination as I did with my first project. And that really spoke to me because, like, at the end of the day, you have to be passionate about what you're doing. You have to be motivated. I feel like Erickson Lubin has a chip on his shoulder. He's got something to prove. And I'm starting to really respect that about boxers. At first I was just like, oh, like when it comes to Bud, Bud's my favorite fighter. So when it comes to Bud, I'm like, oh, people were like, oh, he got something to prove. And I'm like, well, Bud don't have to prove nothing to nobody. But I'm starting to realize that need to conquer, that need to lay your haters to rest is essential. It's essential, actually. So, I don't know. I'm rooting for Lubin now. I really am. But this fight with Virgil Ortiz isn't just about Lubin, though. It's a defining moment that could shape what's next for Boots Ennis and Virgil Ortiz. Lubin has the mentality that I like, but he said something recently that had me a little concerned. Listen to this.
Do you feel like if all goes well with Virgil, that would be the fight that you want?
For sure. Like I said, I'll fight anybody. It does sound great right now. It does sound great. It does sound like a big fight. But with just being completely honest, I got my own plans. Like I said, Virgil has the plans to fight Boots. You know what I mean? He wants to beat me to fight Boots. And I got my own plans. I got my plans to fight Fundora again. I got my plans to fight Charlo again. I feel like those are big fights. And not saying that I'm ducking any smoke. You know what I mean?
Lubin. Sir, Lubin. What we doing here? I just gave you all these flowers. Talking about how amazing you are. How you got, the fighter's mentality. You talking about you want to ruin plans, right? But you don't want to fight Boots next? Like, come on. How does that make sense? So now you want to fight Fundora again. And this is like giving me deja vu. Because I could have swore this was kind of like what Fundora did to Bud. When Bud wanted to fight Fundora, Fundora wanted to fight Spence. So now if if Lubin wins against Ortiz, he's not going to fight Boots. He's going to go and fight Fundora. I mean, I don't know. Maybe that makes sense. I think that we are all, as a boxing community, we want to see Boots get in there with anybody, please. You know what I'm saying? So we're just like, somebody please fight him. But does this make sense for Lubin's career? Does this make sense for his next move to fight Boots? You know, because Lubin has a good resume. And if he wins this fight with Ortiz, it's going to put him on another level. So I don't know, but I'm not going to lie. I was really surprised at his resistance. I thought that when I heard him say he's ready to ruin plans and he has his own plans, I was like, yes. Like, that's what I want to hear. But then he's like, nah, I'm fighting Fundora next. I don't know. Somebody help me out here. Like, am I missing something? Now, to be fair, Lubin does have a get it back mentality. And he did lose to Fundora, and he did lose to Charlo. And I think it's still heavy on his mind. I think it's heavy on his heart. You know, as I'm thinking about this, as I'm putting myself in Lubin's shoes, Boots probably is just like a kind of like an afterthought. Like, I'll get to you later, little one. Like, these the big boys up here. This is why I think Boots probably should have tried to stay at 147 a little longer, because like, these big boys, they little broing Boots. They little broing them. They kind of like, look, homie, like, this is like the elite people over here. This is the, you know, we the heyday people. You know, we the people from the PBC era. Like, you know, Lubin is still from that day. So he's like, come on now. You know, Lubin still got that, probably that other side of the street kind of vibe. And I'm not going to lie, like, because Lubin has that get back mentality and he's a real fighter, like, that's what you do. You want to run it back. When you're a real fighter, that stuff weighs on your mind. It weighs on your heart. It weighs on your spirit to have a man defeat you. Like, a real fighter has to get that back. I'm sorry. And that's the thing, like, I mean, it just is what it is. And, you know, that's what it's supposed to be. And that's what makes boxing exciting. Like, Spence should have went back and got it with Bud. Tank should have went back and got it with Roach. Floyd Schofield should have been trying to get it back with Shakur. Or at least he should be actually trying to make that fight. I would be out here screaming Shakur's name from every single rooftop to let that guy know, like, you know, I was really sick, and I don't know. You know what? That Schofield situation is a whole mess. It's a whole mess. You know, so I respect Lubin's mindset. I just hope he channels it the right way. Because this fight with Virgil Ortiz should be, you know, the moment that defines what's next for him and actually solidifies him in boxing. He's been doing this for a while. And, you know, maybe it's time for him to come up. You never know in boxing who's the next great. Because sometimes the one you ain't thinking about is really the one who's about to come up and take the throne. But y'all let me know what y'all think about all this. You know, maybe react to my reaction in the comments. Give me a different perspective, some inside information. I don't know. What am I missing? Do you guys think that Lubin is wrong for ducking Boots? Is Lubin ducking Boots? Is Lubin just doing what he needs to do to get where he needs to go in his career? And I don't know. Like, what do y'all think about this? You know, when I first heard about it, I was taken back. But as I've been pondering it and putting myself in Lubin's shoes, I understand. I think I'm starting to understand a little bit more why he would go fight Fundora over Boots. But y'all let me know what you think. And don't y'all ever forget, inside or outside the ring, it's all about how you counter. Peace out, y'all.